Hello, hello. I'm thankful to be here, and we're back at it on sunny Phi Side Sportstake. Uh, we have one of our original members with us, Emeritus Silas McMorris. We have the beautiful and profound Amberly. Also, and we're going to talk sports. We're going to talk sports. Hey, it's such a joy to be able to be here and talk sports. We talk everything, different type of sports. But today, we're going to start with the NIL. What's going on? The coaches are complaining about the attitude of the athletes has changed because they say you got to pay them or they not coming to your school, and if they don't get their way, they're going to transfer. Miss Amberly, what do you say about that? What about the state of NIL? Have you heard about it?
No, I haven't heard about it, but just hearing you talk about it sounds like something that would happen in the NBA.
Yes. Mr. Silas, I know you keep up with it. What do you think about it? What's going to eventually happen?
Well, first thing, being a former NCAA football player and having been out there participating on collegiate level sports, I understand the young men and young women who are out there wanting to get paid for their talent, since for years now, the NCAA has made multi-billions of dollars off their talent, and all the student athletes got in return was a free education. And a lot of, even to this day, a lot of my former teammates, got that free education, but they also went away with some injuries, man, that some of them to this day now are dealing with. Football is a very violent sport. And sometimes it takes years, but eventually those injuries come back and they can be a hindrance to a person's personal well-being in their later years. So I understand from the athletes, from their perspective, their point of view about wanting to get paid. And I also understand the coaches' frustration. But I'm going to be honest, I don't feel sorry for the coaches in this one respect, because before NIL and the transfer portal, these coaches were allowed to stockpile all the top talent on one team. And if a kid wanted to transfer, they were penalized that next year at their new school. They had to sit out a year, lose a year eligibility for that sit year before they could be eligible to participate again. So the transfer portal now gives them the opportunity if they feel like it's not working out at that school. And I also know from a personal experience that some coaches don't get along with these kids. Some kids, I'm an ex-teammate now, Jeff, you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. When he went to Oklahoma State, he was told that he could play baseball. And when he got to Oklahoma State, the coach told him when he got there, he said, I lied. That's something about baseball, I lied. From now on, you got to play football. And to this day, my friend has a disdain for this guy because of what he did. So I understand athletes wanting to leave and getting the transfer portal and make good use of it. Are there some of them that are abusing it? Probably so, because that's human nature. But there are some that legitimately, hey, it's not working out at this school, so it's better for me to go to another school.
Understood. Brother Phil, come up with an idea that can help kind of fix this on both ends, from the competition coaches level, and then what's best for the athletes. Do you have an idea that might do that?
Well, I wouldn't probably say I have an idea, but it's a reasonable solution to believe that the players should get paid. I mean, let's be real. I always revert back to the Fab Five when they brought the hoopla, the drama, the money, the style, the class to the University of Michigan, and they would go into the bookstore and their jerseys was up there selling for $200. They didn't have McDonald's money. If the coach gave them McDonald's money, they couldn't tell nobody. And just think about it. The books, yeah, they paid for that. Did they want to go to class? Probably not. But they was getting money through the school. The school was, I mean, football typically fuels every Division I's sports program, but basketball ain't far behind. Football is the engine, but basketball is the wheels. You got baseball, you got swimming, track, all that. But when you got 5 guys like that on campus, and you know, come on, their background wasn't pretty. Pay the guys. The coaches can leave, go, they get shoe contracts, they get all kind of coaching clinic contracts. That's all kind of leveled now. So what I'm saying is, it finally got to where they have some leverage. Players had no leverage, like Silas said, for a long time. They got a lot of leverage now, and they're using it, and the coach is just mad. That's all. But if you can coach, it really does not matter. You don't have to have all the 5-star players. You need to be able to cultivate. It's just like any level, from little league all the way to the pros. You have to develop somebody to get better. Everybody in your team not gonna have the same talent level. So the presidents, the ADs, they were all in on that. It's time for the players.
Yeah,
Simply put.
I totally agree. And they
All right,
just got
let me add
I'm
one
gonna come
last
to you,
thing.
Jeff. The universities and the coaches just got to work it out. You know, just like the athletes had to work it out, and Ed O'Bannon and a whole lot of others
That's right.
suffered over time. Yes, Jeff, go ahead.
Okay, in every situation, you're gonna always have what's called pros and cons to every situation. And the cons to the situation is the ADs, the athletic directors, as well as the coaches. What they're saying is that the con to this is the players are getting a lot of this money now up front, and they're getting this money and they're losing the desire, they're losing their competitive edge because they're already millionaires. By the time they through their second semester of their freshman year, they're already millionaires. And what they're saying is that these players are not showing the right attitude that they once showed, they once used to show to their craft, because they are making this kind of money at age 18 and 19, and they are losing their competitive edge. And a lot of these players are becoming complacent because now they got their money now. So now they don't have to go ahead and go all out. And some of them are losing that drive, and some of them are missing out on making it to the next level because they're losing that drive, because they've already got a piece of the pie at such an early age. So that's the con to this.
Well, I would point to one player that contradicts that, though, and that would be Shedeur Sanders. That would be Shiloh Sanders. Yeah, they had money from their dad. That would also be Travis on the team too. The good players are gonna play, man. Doesn't matter what they get, don't have. But the bad players who actually get money, those are the ones doing just what you said.
Exactly.
Understood.
They're saying that their attitude, they have jacked up attitude,
because
that diva attitude.
Because they're not gonna make it to the next level anyway, but they got paid like they did.
Right.
But these guys gonna get paid now and then. Just like I
And
saw an interview with Dion where he was talking to his son, and his son was saying, "You wasn't a millionaire at 20." He said, "You're right, I was one at 21."
21.
But at the same time, he earned it, but not having to play to get an NIL deal. They didn't have it. He would have been at 18 if that was the case. But you're right. I'm just saying, they're paying him on potential. What does potential mean? You haven't done anything.
Exactly. Dion had already proven it on the field. He didn't get his money till he got to the NFL. These guys already getting
but let's be real now. Even though the NIL is new, them guys was getting paid too. Eric Dickerson's, Craig James, them guys are getting paid.
All of them.
Yeah, they was getting paid. We just don't know about it. We didn't see it. It wasn't open like it is now, but there was suitcases passed full of money for them guys. They got paid. They drove nice cars. They lived off campus. They did what they wanted. They just didn't get caught. And then when they did get caught, they just threw it on the booster.
So they just basically making it legal.
Legal, absolutely. Long overdue.
That's the way it should be.
Yes, sir.
But something needs to be done to secure the athletes' competitiveness as well as, I guess, their integrity.
Yeah.
So that remains to be seen. Let me share this with you. If you're not aware of it, there is a new basketball league for women. Have you all heard about that? I believe it's called Unrivaled. It's 3-on-3, and the top basketball players are signing up, and they've offered Caitlin Clark $1 million. The last one to sign up, I believe, was the girl Boston with the Indiana Fever. This is 3-on-3 basketball.
That would be her teammate.
Yeah. She has
Aaliyah
not
Boston.
signed yet, but they've offered her $1 million, and it's set up so when they are offered the WNBA, they can play this 3-on-3 in the States, as well as Natasha Collier is one of the founders, as well as somebody else. I believe behind the scenes, Ice Cube got something to do with this, because you know he's a 3-on-3 proponent, but we'll see. Have you heard about that, Amberly?
I think I did hear about them offering Caitlin Clark some money for a different league that wouldn't interfere with her WNBA career as well. So I thought that was pretty interesting. All the changes that she's brought to the WNBA in general, and now this 3-on-3 league for women. I can see it happening.
Yeah, I mean, the 3-on-3 has gotten publicized with the Olympics. And of course, the United States didn't do well in 3-on-3. And so it's going to be a push to do better in the men and the women across the board with the 3-on-3. But the WNBA has a lockout now, as far as I know. Jeff, am I correct on that?
Yeah, basically what it comes down to is that they opted out. The girls, the ladies, they opted out of the contract. So since they opted out of the contract, then yes, they officially will be locked out. And this is going to be interesting, guys. This is not something that I think is going to be settled overnight, because you have to understand that the WNBA has been losing money for 2 decades. 2 decades. They've been losing anywhere from $10 to $20 million a year for the 2 decades. Okay, so with that being said, and then this year, they lost $40 million. So given with that, over the last 2 decades, say 20 years, they have lost roughly between 250 million to 300 million. So with that being said, now they signed a $2.2 million media rights deal. And so now the lady's like, okay, we want to get paid. It's time for us to get paid now. But the problem is you're on the books for all of this debt over the last 20 years that the NBA has had to save you. So the NBA is saying, hey, I don't think so. You're not going to be getting these big pay raises you think you're going to get. You're going to get some pay raises, but you ain't going to get the pay raises you're expecting to get, because you still got to pay back all this money from the last 20 years that we've been saving y'all, because you can't get the ladies to come out and watch you to play. The women are not going out and supporting them. The men are the ones going out and supporting that league, not the women. So that's one of the major problems. And then in addition to that, it's a unique situation in the WNBA. Most of the ownership in the WNBA is not to the WNBA owners. The NBA owners only own about 25% of the WNBA. The NBA owns a certain percentage, plus the WNBA sold a certain percentage out because of the pandemic, the lockdown when we shut down. So they sold a portion of the WNBA. So the WNBA owners only own 25% of the WNBA. So it's going to be very difficult for them to negotiate and get the deal they want, because they don't have the leverage that they think that they have. So this is going to be interesting. This can drag on for a long time, because you're talking about big time money that they got to pay back.
Phil,
I don't think they're going to make the money they think they will going forward.
Go ahead, Emily.
Yeah, even though Caitlin Clark brought a lot of attention, I don't think it's going to be enough. I don't know if you heard about the New York Liberty Parade, but a lot of people didn't show up for the champions. So that's just a telling sign there.
Yeah.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
basketball.
I mean, go ahead.
Basketball is what it is in the WNBA. I mean, this new league offered her 10 times what she makes now. She makes $76,000, but her contracts and endorsements keep her going forever. You know, I mean, long as the league exists, until it doesn't, I know what you're saying, Jeffrey, but if it was that bad, it'd be gone. It's not going anywhere. I've said that every time we brought this up. It's not going anywhere. Not anytime soon. Money, time. They're trying to grow that thing. It takes time. The NBA didn't really get going until Bird and Magic. With all the great players they had prior to that, I was going to the games at High enjoying it. Wasn't on TV. And when it was, you could creep, through the black and white and through the grainy pictures, but it was still on TV. Back then, we didn't have all the other stuff, cable and stuff. And so when all that stuff started happening, with the progression of society, the progression of the game will grow too.
Understood, understood. It's going to be interesting to see how this worked out. One thing Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese have brought is the attention. Now with Juju Watson also, if that can continue, they will build up a audience in such a way that it's going to sustain, like Phil said. So it's going to be interesting.
It's going to be interesting to see how they handle this lockout, how the ladies handle this lockout, because if they don't handle it right, they could be locked out for a while. I'm just telling you, because the NBA, they're not losing any money because they still losing money in the WNBA. So I'm just saying this could be interesting. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, I understand. Silas, Emeritus, what happened with the Texans yesterday? What's your explanation?
Two things. Well, actually three things. We're still dealing with a guy who's learning how to be offensive coordinator. This is his second year, called Bobby Slowick. One of the things he's got to learn is when they start sending all these people on these blitz and to attack CJ when he's in the pocket, they got to set up a good blocking scheme to accommodate all the people coming in rushing the quarterback. He has not figured that out yet. And the offensive line coach, whoever coaches the offensive line, they have not figured out a good blocking scheme to nullify these blitzes that are coming against CJ. And that is what you're seeing happening. It was exposed against Minnesota. Minnesota just blitzed the daylights out of CJ. And then we saw it again against Green Bay. That was one of the worst games that CJ ever had. I don't even think he threw for 100 yards that game.
He didn't.
No, he didn't. He didn't.
So between the offensive coordinator and the O-line coach, they're gonna have to come up with some type of blocking scheme to better equip the offense when they send all these different people on these blitzes to attack CJ in the pocket. See what he is doing. If you notice, when he gets all these guys on these 3 receiver sets and one on the other side, I'm gonna leave nobody in the backfield to help block. And so you got 7 guys coming on 5 blockers. The math doesn't add up, man.
Well, you know, the guy that's coaching the offensive line for the Texans, this is his first year in Houston. And he's coming straight from college. Yeah, he ain't somebody that was there last year. But then again, look at the people they got. Green was a first-round pick a couple of years ago, and he playing like a free agent. You know, you got some guys that just ain't, you know, I mean, Titus Howard, they spent the investment on the line. They went out and paid Laramie Tunsil. I mean, those guys are supposed to be doing their job. So, but I promise you, look like all the yards that Mixon get, it ain't cause great blocking. I mean, he's a good back. I said in the preseason. Now we should get, you know, people was crying about not getting the big boy in Baltimore, but that was okay. Look, Cincinnati is not winning all them games with Joe Burrow if Mixon ain't doing what he's doing. The same thing gonna happen in Houston. Everywhere he goes, he's a primary back.
Let me say this. I said last week or whatever week it was against Green Bay that the problem was they didn't know how to throw screen passes. They didn't know how to do play action. You got to have timely draws. You got to keep that defense loose. You got to keep them scared and not knowing what you're going to do. That goes to back and DeMarco, because he's not talking to him and telling him, hey, man, you got to get it together.
That goes to the coaching, Carl. That has to be done in practice. You have to continually go over that so that when game time comes, these guys like second nature to these guys.
Yeah. Amberly, what do you see?
Yes, pretty much Slowick and the offensive line coach, not mixing it up enough, just so, you know, there could be different looks for the wide receivers. I know we're down 2 receivers, but I feel like we have a few good ones in there. I like Hutchinson, Dell. I like
Michi's
Mechie.
Yeah,
they're pretty good, and they've shown flashes. So you know,
tight end too.
Yeah, well,
Exciting.
I'm kind of iffy on Dawson Schultz. I think Schultz and Stover on the same level, which is,
I know.
Stover's a rookie.
Yeah, he ain't that good. No.
They're
Not
both,
yet.
I feel like they're both struggling, but
The whole offense is.
yeah, and it starts with the offensive line, but I feel like CJ could run more, get out of the pocket a little bit more because, it's failed him so much, but he keeps staying there. I guess, that's what the offensive line coach wants or Stoic wants, but he needs to get out of that pocket and be more creative because that's going to be the only way to get something going.
The way it's going, he's getting beat up and he might get hurt.
Stay there.
We might have to depend upon Davis Mills. I don't know.
Oh my
That's what it seems
goodness.
like to me.
I'm force that to happen.
Hey,
Okay,
Amber, that's
that
an
is
inside
true.
joke. That's Carl's guy. I'm
You only
okay
make
with it
it
though.
You know, I was
Davis Mills
gonna
gonna get hurt too at this rate.
Yeah.
Davis Mills about to be the next one on the ground.
But let me say this. Are injuries gonna take them possibly? Because one of the offensive linemen got hurt. Of course, we know the two wide receivers. So many injuries. Are injuries gonna catch up with them and take them out of contention, Jeff?
No.
I think the injuries are playing a huge factor right now. Right now, you're missing your two top receivers, and I don't think he has a comfort level with these other guys, with Hutchinson and John Mason.
Nico will be back next week.
Yeah, I'm just saying, we're based on
Yeah,
the
They
last
getting
2
it
weeks.
just in time.
don't
They
have the
playing the
comfort level yet.
lines. They
And
playing
without that comfort level with those receivers, and then in addition to the fact that the offensive line has no continuity or have just not performing well, it makes it very difficult for a quarterback to get his job done.
He should have some kind of flow with Dell because he did last season, but I feel like Dell may not be 100%. That may be the reason, or he's just not having enough time to throw it downfield, which is what him and Dell would do a lot. Is Dell would get some opening all the way downfield and he'll catch a lot of those shots. Last season he did at least.
It do
So
look.
Dell had a good game. Dell actually had a good game. Yeah,
it was decent.
Yeah,
It
he had
do
over
look
100
like
yards.
he's not as sharp as he was last year, and that could be because of the the pressure. But it seems like the passes that he was hitting sharp last year, he's overthrowing or he's throwing to the right, to the left, and it's not as
and
sharp.
again, Silas.
It's because of the pressure. Listen, CJ Stroud is a generational talent. Okay, that means he can play any generation of football that has existed until this day. He's the type of player, quarterback like Tom Brady that can make any receiver look good. But you have to block for him. You have to give him time. Just like Brady had to have time, he has to have time. If you like Amber said, the receivers that they have now, Mechie, all those guys, they're all pretty decent. The only problem is CJ is being hurried when he's in the pocket. And I don't care if anybody, when New England lost to New York, the New York Giants, this is what they told Michael Strahan. They said Tom Brady don't like to get hit. If you put up enough hits on him, Tom Brady's gonna fold. Know what they did that game? They put some hits on Tom Brady. Tom Brady never folded that game. They could have been undefeated that for that season, but because Strahan no ball on that defensive line, they put those helmets on Tom Brady. He got uncomfortable in that pocket. That's what won the game for him. CJ is just like him. If he has a strong offensive line, strong protection, he can work with any receiver that he has. But if his line is performing the way it is right now, I don't care if even when he gets Nico back, he's gonna have problems. Because he's gonna still be under pressure.
I agree. The key is the offensive line. That goes back to what I always was saying about the guys in the trenches, and so forth. So basically next year, that got to be their emphasis to get some real good linemen overall, and hopefully hopefully we'll continue this year and not fold up and just go out of contention. We're 6-3 now.
Mhm.
Hopefully we can win 5 more, 6 more games.
But here's the
It looks
irony.
kind of tough.
Here's
It
the
looks
irony.
kinda tough.
You got an offensive line that can't block nobody. They're getting beat up. They're getting roughhoused. But the defensive line is doing the same things the other offensive line. So I said that to say this. The other guys get paid too to do just what they doing to CJ. Okay? We
That's
just
right.
have to do a better job protecting everybody's in agreement on that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the defense is not costing them games right now. They're playing their part. And they're getting in the backfield. They're getting tackles for loss.
Oh,
They're
yeah.
getting turnovers. I mean,
yeah.
we got a rookie back in the secondary lead all rookies with 3 interceptions. You know,
Mhm.
they have
And
been
we got to
drafted with.
we got to admit there were some mistakes, man. CJ dropped the ball almost in the end zone area.
Inside to 10, yep.
Yeah.
Let him just strip the ball from him.
It
Yep.
was weak on the left
Things that
side.
happen.
It was
So many
weak on the
things
left
that
side.
happen. And Farborn missed 2 field goals.
Yep, he did.
And he never does that. So, you know, just like we had those bad events happen, if those things hadn't happened, we probably would have won. So we'll see. Who are the top 4 teams in each conference that we see right now? We halfway through the season. I'm going to say the top 4 teams in the AFC are Baltimore, Kansas City, Pittsburgh. Right now, I'm not going to put the Texans up there. They're not playing in that particular way.
You can't put Buffalo ahead of them.
Last
You can't put Buffalo ahead of them.
the AFC. Go ahead, sir.
You can't put Buffalo ahead of them.
Huh?
You can't put Buffalo ahead of Houston. You said Pittsburgh.
You can.
Kansas City.
I mean, you saw the game. They talked about that.
Okay, who's the 4th team? Who's the 4th team?
Texans are the 4th right now.
You can't put
I'm looking
Buffalo
at the
ahead of Houston.
standings.
Huh?
I'm looking at the standings. Buffalo's 3 and the Texans are 4.
Well, see, here's what I think he's saying. He's not saying go by the standing, use the eye test.
Yes, use the eye test, and Pittsburgh, Kansas City, Baltimore, and Buffalo are the
And
top
that would be
4
as of
teams.
today. So I see what you're saying.
Yeah, the top 4 teams by the way they playing. By the way they play.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you think the Texans would have the record that they do now without Fairbairn?
No.
I mean, hold up now.
I don't think we win games if we not hitting them field goals.
That's
Okay.
right.
Now, if we didn't have Fairborn, we might have another kicker. Another kicker might have done.
Fairbairn got paid.
Just
He ain't
as good.
going nowhere. He's
No,
out.
Fairbairn's good.
I don't think
Fairbairn
nobody
is a
hitting
good
that
guy.
59-yard field goal.
Yeah, he does. Well, the Cowboys got a better kicker though. Now they do have a better kicker. They got that.
Yeah.
All right, my top 4 teams in the West over in the AFC will be the Bills, the Steelers, the Ravens, and Kansas City Chiefs. Those are my top 4 teams.
That's the same ones I said. Amberly,
Okay.
what are your top 4?
I mean, that's pretty much it, and that's who's in the top 4 right now. I can't go with the Broncos. I can't go with the Ravens. I can't go with the Chargers. It's just the Chiefs, the Steelers, and the Bills. In the NFC.
Right now, half the season, you agree with that, Silas?
Nope. We beat Buffalo. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna put anybody ahead of us that we beat.
I hear you. That's a fair assessment.
Nope.
Okay.
His eye test is different.
Nope.
Let's do the NFC. The NFC, I got to go with Detroit, Green Bay, Minnesota, and that's all 3 in one division, and Washington. I think that's who I got to go with. I'm thinking about it. I'm certainly not picking Dallas. I'm not picking San Francisco, even though San Francisco is close always. But I got to go with those 4: Washington, Detroit, Minnesota, and Green Bay. And outside of that, somebody else got to show me something. But those 4 teams, and my boy Jaden Daniels with that Hail Mary, you know, I know it was one play, but
Come on.
those are defining things. Yeah, those are, Jeff, who you got those for in the NFC?
Unfortunately, Carl, I got the same four you have. I got the Vikings, Lions, and Green Bay Packers, and I got Washington.
Yes,
Everybody
sir.
over in that North, in the NFC North, got good records. Everybody. I mean,
Everybody.
Vikings 5-2,
Anybody forgetting the
Lions.
Falcons play football too?
Say what?
The Falcons play football too. They 6-2.
Oh, I agree. He said the top four. I don't have him in
I
the top
understand.
four.
I'm just devil's advocate here. I'm
Yeah.
not. I haven't even picked the top four in either one, and I'm okay.
Okay, well, you pick your top four.
I don't have a top four. I'm okay with
All
that.
right.
I'm just being devil's advocate here.
All right.
Understood. Silas, you agree with that?
I'll take Philly over Green Bay.
Okay. How about
Philly's
you?
beginning to play good ball now. They got AJ Brown and Devontae Smith back.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one.
And they got Saquon Barkley at running back.
Yeah.
Well,
I
Minnesota's
had
on a
Philly- I had
2-game
Philly at
losing,
6.
and if we're doing an eye test, Minnesota is on a 2-game losing streak.
Yeah, they are.
Understood.
Yeah.
I'm watching that. Yeah, I'm watching
They
that.
They're like the Saints. The Saints have lost 4 straight.
But we're not talking about
Oh,
that.
wait a minute. They're not even in the
We're not
conversation.
talking about that.
I know.
Even though
I'm
they
gonna say
did
like
beat the
Saints, they
Cowboys,
going
but
away.
everybody
Yeah,
beating
before
the
I'd rather
Cowboys.
lose 2 than 4. They're not gonna lose 4 in a row. They better
Everybody
than
beating the Cowboys, so their coach won't last a year, in my opinion.
that.
No, he won't. Amberly, who are your 4?
Yeah, I like the Lions, Washington, Packers, and the Eagles.
Okay. Well, we're gonna see. We're gonna come back and check this out. We just finished our 8th week, I believe. Well, actually, it just started the 9th week with the Texans.
The
Right.
night.
So we are almost more than halfway finished, and it's a very interesting year this year. I'm rooting for my boy Jaden Daniels to come through and lead that Washington Commanders team. Very interesting, very interesting. As always, NFL continues to get the ratings and is still the #1 game that people look at. Is still an event. You have the tailgating and everything else involved, and the state of the NFL is strong. And as I talked about, it's going to become an international game, and they're already preparing for that in the international aspect of things, and it's going to be interesting. NBA is started going off, and the Rockets are 3-2. Maybe now starting to get their footing a little bit. They lost to San Antonio, and then they lost the first game to the Charlotte Hornets with LaMelo Ball. But it's some interesting things happening. Steph Curry is hurt, but seems like Golden State is still hanging in there. So we're going to see as they jockey for position. Phil, do you see any surprises or disappointments in this beginning part of the season?
Right now, the 5-0 Cavaliers in the East, and they are waxing people. They're not beating them by 2 and 3 points. They are coming right at them. Too early for disappointments that I can really just say. You can always recoup, but just like in a good horse race, the fast ones get out there real tough, but they get tired in the end and somebody suck them up. So I'm not bragging on anybody that's too far, but it happens, But right now, I didn't think Cleveland, would be 5-0. I mean, they're doing well and they're winning. You saw what they did to Milwaukee the other day. I mean, they're putting some teams out of their misery real fast. And I'm still impressed with those young Rockets. I keep saying all along, keep that young nucleus together and it will pay off. They got too much talent. You ain't gonna be able to keep them for long, but as long as you can as you long, because you will save some money and you will win some games. And then you can get the free agents who say, ooh, they still got a nice 2 or 3 nice young players. And I keep telling people, Jalen Green is a true NBA player. He got a coach now that holds him in high regard and makes him responsible to play some defense.
That's right.
Averaging 29
And I've
games.
been saying Segun is a Swiss Army player. He ain't a center. He ain't a forward. He ain't a guard. He's just a basketball player. And he's young. All them boys young. Keep them together.
Yes, I see that with the Rockets also. Even
right,
though
Paul.
I don't have my thing where I can watch the game on a live basis, I have to watch the tape delay. But for saving that $100 a month, I'll go right there to do that. Let me mention about Cleveland. Cleveland's also always had the talent because you got Evan Mobley at the power forward, you
That's who
got
I would,
Jared
yeah,
Allen at the center, and then you got them guards, Darius Garland and
Garland.
Donovan Mitchell. Hey, that nucleus is powerful. If they could have the right chemistry, they are
Yeah.
tough.
yeah.
I picked
All
them
right, Carl, who
right
am I
behind
surprised?
Cleveland as far as the best team in the East right now.
Let
Jeff,
me tell you who. Let me tell you who my surprises are, Carl. My surprises are the Warriors playing without Stephon Curry, and they sitting at 4-1. That's a team surprised me. The Thunder, of course, are sitting at 4-0. I'm surprised with that. Just a little bit. But the team that surprises me on the disappointment side, the Knicks sitting at 2-2, the Pacers sitting at 2-3, the Nuggets sitting at 2-2, and the Bucks sitting at 1-4.
All that can be turned around. All of that can be turned around.
Right.
Or at least
You
most.
come
you got any surprises or comments about the NBA, Amberly?
The Rockets is what I've been watching mostly. They really surprised me this year. I knew it would be a lot of internal growth, and I was waiting for them to bring on Steven Adams, even though he's still limited in his play because he's coming back from injury. He's made a huge difference for the bench. And Tari Eason and Amin Thompson continues to be like the driving force on the defensive side mostly. And I think we're still going to be a top 10 defense this year, and we might even be a top 10 offense if we start clicking. Şengün isn't playing to his best abilities yet, but he'll figure it out, and Jalen Green already figuring it out. So they're definitely a big surprise for me. And I'd say the Bucks is another disappointing surprise for sure. I expected more from Giannis has been playing good, but I expected more from the team as a whole.
I'm not surprised about the Bucks. One, the NBA has improved, and if you don't have good chemistry, you're fighting among yourselves. And I think they are fighting with Doc Rivers. These new age players don't want direction, and they might not want it from a black coach. You have those kind of things where you have a black self-hatred where they don't like to take direction from another black man, and that might be a part of it. And these older players, they saying, no, I don't care what you did over there. We run this team. But that doesn't surprise me at all. Now, it wouldn't surprise me if Doc turns it around also. But let me say about the Rockets, I expected them to go 50-30, 52-30 or something, 50-32. So it's not surprising me. If Udoka could keep that chemistry going and keep those back, because the Rockets have some of the best backup players.
Mm-hmm.
They got
an outstanding second unit. I agree. They got an outstanding second unit.
And if they could keep that together, they're going to be right there.
Steven Adams is the key. Steven Adams is the key. Because they play very well with Steven Adams in there, because what he does is he sets all those wide screens, and Jalen Green and those guards be getting wide open shots. So they really need to have him on the court. The problem is he's coming back off an injuries. He's having problems with his calf, so that he's going to be in and out of the lineup because he's getting up there in age. But that guy's the key. If he can keep him on the floor, that second unit, he solidifies that second unit. Another thing I wanted to say about that is, who do you think? Okay, Fred VanVleet, he's off to a slow start, and I'm bringing him up for a reason. Fred VanVleet has not a player option, but a team option for next season, and that team option is set at $45 million. Now, let me tell you where I'm coming from. Alperen Şengün, and Jalen Green, their increase in salaries combined increase will be $49 million next season, because between the two of them, they will be making $67 million, and this year they only make $18 million.
They both just got paid.
Hold on. Say what, Phil?
I'm just asking the question. They both just got a contract extension.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay, let me finish my point. So what I'm saying is they got contract extensions, and that contract extensions, it kicks in next season. So right now, between those two guys, they make a combined total of $18 million. Next year, they will make a combined total of $67 million. So that is a $49 million increase. So with that $49 million increase, and then I've also done the math, there are other players who also have increases in salaries going into next season. So with all that being said, we're talking about a overall $55 million increase in salaries. So I'm looking at Fred VanVleet, and his numbers are looking very, very pedestrian.
Okay.
I don't see him being back
when
next
we
season.
signed him, you were saying, "Oh, he's a great sign." The summer they signed him, I said he's overpaid. And same thing with Dylan Brooks. I wasn't.
I said he was overpaid too.
No, you
Trust me.
You were a
I said he was
proponent of him
overpaid.
being okay. All right.
47 million a
They
year.
both were overpaid intentionally, though.
Man,
They
go
both
read-
were overpaid
man.
intentionally.
I understand that, but that's what makes it counterproductive to what they're trying to do now. But
It's
I'm
not
just saying-
counterproductive if they're bringing what is needed, which was leadership and that
okay,
veteran presence.
I don't see that.
Oh, I saw it all last season for sure. It maybe not at the start of
I'm
this
just
season.
saying,
It
but
was last season where they showed it.
okay, well, it probably was minimal because of the coach. If they still had another coach, the coach they had before, then it would have been very essential. But with the coach they had, that's where their leadership came from more so to me. Because let's be real, Fred got a ring. He's played well. He didn't do nothing outstanding last year, and neither did Dylan Brooks. They played okay. But those young boys still got room to grow. So what you're saying, Jeff, if they move them, I would be the first to jump up and jump some pom-poms in my hand.
But here's the thing, we don't make a 22 game jump and get to a 500 team without those.
That I agree. They contributed. I never said they didn't contribute. I never said
That's why they were here. That's why they were overpaid.
But they would. You don't overpay. But look, in the real world, that don't happen. I understand what you're saying. We're agreeing on that. We're agreeing on that. We're not disagreeing. All I'm saying is, from a basketball, actual undercourt, physical points, rebounds, minutes played, they got way overpaid.
I agree.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's all I'm saying.
I would say the market
Dylan
is
Brooks got
catching up
overpaid
to where
too.
they-
I just said both of them. I said
Yeah.
Dylan Brooks and Fred VanVleet.
But
If they
see-
would have moved both of them, you didn't say anything about moving him. He would be the first person I move, me personally. And it's not because he can't play. It's just that I want a certain type of player in the system that I see Udoka is trying to run. It's just my opinion. It's not fact. This is not etched in stone. This is not something you can take to the bank in cash. I'm just giving an opinion based on what I've seen when they play. I like Fred VanVleet. I like Dylan Brooks, but I like the younger players better. And you do need to have bridge to get them where they need to go. I get that. I get that.
The only way Fred be back next season is if he take a significant pay cut. There is no way they bring him back. That $45 million.
He already
No
said
way.
he wants to stay here in Houston, and
Yeah, he
I'm
did
sure
say
he's
that.
willing to do whatever. So
I hope
he
they
has
keep
to
him there.
stay
I mean, I don't
within
got no
certain
problem
limits.
with even keeping him. I think he's a wonderful person and a decent player. But when you gonna do with Reed Shepard? What you gonna do with Ahmad Brooks?
That's what I was going to ask you next. What are your guys' thoughts? What are your
That's what I
thoughts on
keep
Reed
saying. The
Shepard?
young guys,
Amen
if you had not
Thompson, right?
invested in all of them, I mean,
Well,
Amen Thompson, right, Phil?
Thompson, I'm
Huh?
sorry.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
Mint Thompson.
The twin. Let me say this, the twin.
Yeah. He's a good backup option to handle the ball, but he's good at every position. So he's just that Swiss Army knife, But Reed Shepard is going to be our future point guard, and Fred is going to come off the bench. That's
He's
how
gonna
it's
be the
gonna
point guard before the end of this year. You watch.
I
wouldn't be
disagree with
surprised,
that.
but
And I-
Reed Shepard is having a slow start.
Of course, it's the
Very slow
NBA.
start. Reed
Yeah.
hasn't scored 10 points in 4 games.
How many minutes is he playing?
Yeah, he's not playing a lot of minutes.
Thank you.
Right.
It's still,
You gotta give him the
haven't
minutes.
scored because he's not doing it in practice. Obviously, he's not playing for a reason.
Okay,
Well,
Right
we
now,
can't say
right
that.
now,
that's good.
right now.
He's not
He
gonna be
has
rookie of the
really
year
been a
either.
big disappointment so far.
He
But then
needs-
again, not just him, all the rookies have. All the rookies are off to slow starts. All of them. There is not one rookie that has scored 15 points
I
in
guarantee
any
you.
game.
I
this season.
guarantee you, soon enough, you will see those numbers. That's a huge adjustment. Like I said before, from
Oh, I
middle
agree.
to junior high, to high school, to college, it's a jump every time.
I
Some
agree.
people are natural, some people have time, they have to adjust, and some people are meant to do what they're doing. Some not.
And we drafted them, Phil, we drafted him so young at age 19. So yeah, it's gonna take him a while. Because
True.
he's so young.
True.
And that's why I would make sure I keep Fred VanVleet and let him continue to grow. Maybe in year 3, that would be his highlight starting time, but not right now, not next year. That's my opinion on Reed Shepard. Now, I would have to think about Dylan Brooks. What is his contract situation? And because I believe Amen Thompson could slide into that small forward position. Yeah, because he's good defensively. He's good at every way.
He's smart.
At that position. And if I could save some money right there and give more time to the young guys, that's what I'm gonna do. And I kind of said that last year. He's overpaid.
One other thing. I'm hearing the Rockets being linked to the possibility of trading for Jimmy Butler. Would you guys do that? I wouldn't.
No
People
way.
want that to happen, so they'll get one of our good young guys. People just want to stir something up so they can get one of our guys. But really, I'll piggyback behind what you were saying, Uncle. I think Amen Thompson could fit into the small forward spot, but I think Tari Eason would be a better fit in the starting lineup because he's just a better scorer than Amen Thompson, and he plays defense just as good. And once he gets clicking, he works well with the offensive line. But him and Amen Thompson together work well. So that may have to mean Jabari would have to go out to the bench.
Well, the guy that provide more spark than him off the bench is Cam, as always. They don't have nobody on the team like him.
But he's kind of off to a slow start.
He's off
to a slow start.
But he had a lost start last year too, till he started getting minutes. You don't do nothing with no minutes.
Jabari Smith is the key. You have to decide what you're going to do with him.
Yeah,
that is the key.
That's
You have
the
to
key.
decide what you're going to do, because if he's not going to grow into the player he should be, then you have to think about trading him.
Yeah,
or going to the bench.
Carl, I was just thinking that, man, this past week, man, Jabari is the key. If Jabari finally matures and develops into the player they hope that he's supposed to be, then the Rockets are going to really go far. But if not, then I agree with you, what you just said. They might have to think about trading him.
Yeah, that is the key to the Rockets right there, in my opinion. That is the key. And what is he going to do? What is he going to come up with? Yes, Amberly.
So I've been hearing not just Jimmy Butler, but people want Giannis. People want, if Giannis wants to get out of Milwaukee, they want him here in Houston.
No.
So what, Jabari and Dylan Brooks and whoever.
Let me ask you a question. What do you give to get a guy like that? What do we have that you give that's fair?
It would have to be Jabari. At least.
And not just him. That's not a straight up.
Dylan Brooks.
Fred VanVleet's salary.
But you can't force somebody on somebody.
I wouldn't trade Fred. He's still important.
Look, let me tell you something. If I'm a GM and I got the player you want, I'm gonna fleece you. End of story.
Exactly.
The way it is. I got Giannis and you coming to me asking for a trade and he wants to get out.
If Giannis wants out, then you have to entertain.
I get that, but he ain't finna sign my payroll. He ain't finna put my player personnel in order. I'm getting you out of there, but I'm getting him, and him. That's what I'm getting. Then you can go where you want. But I'm not, you hardly saw straight up trade for Towns and Randall. You got all these other people involved too. As I'm saying, you may have a marquee name, but ain't nobody giving up. The best team I think that does all that is Oklahoma City. They got draft capital forever. They gonna be fine. They don't get fleeced by nobody.
We do have those Phoenix picks.
I understand. Phoenix gonna be pretty good though. So you want them to be bad. So but they not.
They just one injury away.
That's true. But isn't everybody?
Yeah.
James Harden. Y'all watching James Harden? He putting up numbers.
Oh yeah.
But they not winning.
When have you known James Harden not put up numbers, Jeff?
Thank you.
I'm just saying, at this stage of his career, he's having an outstanding career.
That's what he does. He's a professional. He's a professional.
He's consistent.
But you still thought that he would have come down a little bit at this point.
He is coming down. He ain't gonna keep that up all year. Come on. This first of the year. Plus Kawhi ain't there. So
you think he's gonna play again?
No Paul George. No Paul George.
Y'all think Kawhi gonna play again?
Yeah.
I'm not sure about that.
Kawhi got 2 rings. Kawhi play when he get ready. And nobody said nothing about it.
We'll see. But I'm not surprised about James Harden. James Harden is a
he's a professional.
A once in a lifetime kind of talent. So
Yeah.
we'll see what's gonna happen with
He's
that.
just not a leader of men to get a championship. You can rest assured that ain't gonna happen.
Right. He's consistent, like I said.
Yeah, he is. You're right. You're right. Got a
He
triple
knows how to
double the other
take
night.
more.
Got a triple double the other night. I mean, he good.
Mm-hmm.
He got paid. He got his money.
But that game they lost last night, I believe it was to Phoenix. They let Phoenix come back from being down by 20 plus.
Yeah.
I mean, scored what 15 field goals in a row.
Whenever Durant and Booker on the same team and they get going, you can forget it.
But that just shows the Clippers have no defense. They have Jeff Van Gundy on that bench over there.
Yeah. Well, they got a nice new arena. They got a nice new arena. They got the best arena in town.
Okay, guys, anything else about the NBA? Anything else about the NBA?
We got to see what else.
Have you seen Chet Holmgren play?
Chet is a bad boy.
Yep.
He sit his whole rookie year out. He didn't even play. So technically, he only in his third year. Second year actually playing.
I remember people was wondering, whether or not Orlando made a mistake by taking Pablo Banchero and not taking Jabari Smith. Wow, did they take the right player? Wow,
Pablo was a bad boy in college.
Huh?
Pablo was a bad boy in college.
Yeah, that boy's a bad boy. Pablo is bad. That's a bad boy. Oh, he got hurt. He hurt now. He got hurt.
He got a torn muscle. He got a while for 6 weeks. Yeah. But he had 50 and 40 something right back to back.
But let me ask y'all.
Let
me ask y'all, if they poured into Jabari Smith the way that they poured into Jalen Green last season, do you think Jabari would be a different player?
I don't see how they poured in any different. Jabari get more action and more, and he stays healthy.
Getting enough reps. He's not getting enough reps.
What you mean?
You got to go and get the reps. You got to go and get the reps.
He has to.
So
Jabari
played more games than Jalen. Jalen missed a lot of games.
Jabari don't have any dog in him. Jabari don't have no dog in him. I'm serious. He don't have any dog in him. It's gonna take him a while to develop. He's just a nice guy. He's that nice guy.
Skill set though. He does have a nice skill set.
Really good skill set.
But he don't have any dog in him. He just don't have a dog in him.
Well, I tell you what, he's
fine.
He's gonna get dogged out of the league because that's a man league. That's why they don't let high school dudes just run up in there no more. They're not ready for that. That's for men.
He shows flashes. He shows flashes, and I think he just thinks too much. And that's exactly what Şengün is doing this season too. They just both in a mental space where they're just not, they're just not locked in. They're just not, they don't have the game like mapped out the way that they should in their mind.
They're still trying to figure it out.
Yeah. Give us a little while, because last season you saw Jabari grow from his rookie season. So this year I expect to see some more growth going forward.
The Rockets sure hope so.
So what's your projection?
Next summer, they just re-signed the extensions with Jalen Green and Alperen Şengün. Well, next summer you got to deal with Tyra Eason and Jabari Smith. So they got some decisions to make. Because are you going to give them that kind of money that these two guys got? $37 million a year? They can't afford it.
Oh, they're gonna bring back Tyreek.
You need to keep Tyra.
Yeah, he's coming back.
At what cost? At what cost?
What projections
this time next year, you got to get him a extension. Huh?
What projections do you see right now? Is it too early?
I need more time. Remember, he missed just about all of last season. I need to see some more Tyra Eason to see if I'm gonna get him a big contract. I might have to put him in a trade because
not just Tyra Eason.
I haven't seen enough of him.
Rockets and the NBA.
Say what?
The Rockets and the rest of the NBA. What are your projections?
Oh, on the Rockets. I think the Rockets. I gave them 48 wins. I projected they can win 48 games, provided they can stay relatively healthy. They really need Steven Adams to stay on the floor. He solidifies the second unit. They really need him. Without him, that second unit has no cohesiveness because they don't have the guy that's on the block that's getting those rebounds, and they don't have that guy that's setting those picks and getting those guys wide open shots. They really need Steve. So this team will go if Steve is healthy and on that floor. They will be better. It's going to depend on.
Sounds good. One last thing: the Dodgers won the World Series.
Yeah.
They say it was an exciting game. I did not watch any.
It was. It was.
Okay,
Randy
but I
Freeman.
know you did have the top
Randy
athletes in
Freeman.
Otani on one side, and you had Judge on the other, and international eyes were on it. So,
but neither one of them was a
baseball
star.
coming back.
It was Freddie Freeman show.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Fred Freeman.
Freddie Freeman.
Exactly.
Freddie Freeman show,
did.
man.
And Walker Buehler, the pitcher.
All right,
Yep.
all right.
Yep.
So is
Congratulations
baseball
to the Los
coming
Angeles
back
Dodgers.
in the
They got the
eyes
highest
of-
payroll they should have won. They finally put it together.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did.
They
And
didn't
didn't
even.
spend
They
enough
didn't,
money.
yeah. They didn't even have their main pitcher on the roster for the playoffs.
Right.
So is baseball coming back? Is it becoming again?
I mean, it hasn't got to the level of NFL or NBA, but baseball is still a vibrant sport to watch. I bet it was watched pretty good. I mean, you got people like Jeter, Big Papi, and other guys that's announcing. People watch just for that. They icons. You know, it was a good series. I mean, the Yankees just wasn't ready. They beat themselves the last game. They could have got it to a game 5 had they played a little better. Game 6, rather.
Give us the word on A-Rocket field.
All right, guys. Everybody knows that at some point, everybody got to move. And at A-Rocket Moving and Storage, 3401 Quarter, been in business since 1959. We have just opened a brand new 62,000 square foot warehouse, as you can see right here. Got our material in there, climate control, and we do residential, commercial, and inner office moves. If you call us, 713-748-6024, ask for me, we'll get you a move quote. We'll get guys in and out of there. And we do interstate too. We can get you up and down the road a little bit. So give us a shout. We'll be more than happy to service you. Second generation of business, been around since 1959. And with DeAndre Sam as the CEO, things are rolling pretty good at A-Rocket. So we're black on black operated, but we hire lots of minorities and we give second chance opportunity to people who have been offenders in prison before. So give us a shout.
That's beautiful.
Understood. Well, guys, this is our, I believe, 30th episode, and we're toward the end. Jeff, give us a final summary.
Well, with everything going on, hey, I'm very happy with my Texans. Even though we're 6-3, we lost to the Jets. They 6-3 with all the injuries they had. I'm very happy with them at 6-3. I projected that they would be roughly about 6-3, give and take. And think about all the injuries they've had. I mean, all the injuries they've had. 6-3. I'm happy with that. And then the Rockets sitting at 3-2 after beating the defending Western champion Dallas Mavericks last night. I'm very happy with what the Rockets are doing. That's a young team, and they're heading in the right direction. And both franchises have outstanding young black coaches, and I'm very, very happy with the two franchises we have here in Houston. Everything is looking really good. The WNBA is coming off outstanding. They set records in attendance, viewership, and merchandise sales. So they're coming off a huge season. But I can say we got a lockout coming out, and it's going to be interesting to see how that work out. But I'm very proud of the ladies. The ladies did an outstanding job. They kept my interest this year. I really enjoyed it.
Indiana Fever has a new coach. Caitlin won't play for the same coach next year.
Yep, Stephanie White,
a former player.
Yep. You know they got rid of 6 of their 12 coaches. Did y'all know that? The WNBA fired 6 of their 12 coaches.
I don't think all of it was merited, though. I understand that, but I don't think all of it, especially Teresa Witherspoon. That don't make no sense.
Right. But why would they fire the Fever coach? Why would they fire the Fever coach? They made the playoffs.
I didn't even know she got. All I know is they get a new coach. I didn't know about that, but they definitely fired Teresa Witherspoon, and I hadn't paid much mind to the others, so that disturbed me a little bit.
Right.
We thank our guest, Emeritus Silas McMorris, Sister Amberly Alexander, and we look forward to our next episode. This has been Sports Take. If it's Friday, every other week, it's Sports Take. And we thank you, and we'll see you next time on Sports Take. All right, everybody, peace.